Welcome, fans, to International Championship Wrestling. My name is Ron Martinez for vacationing Jack Reynolds with me, six-time world champion Lou Thez, and it's great to be with you, Lou.
Well, thank you very much, Ron. I'm very happy to be a part of your operation here.
You know, we've got some great matches coming up on today's program. We've got a new tag team combination, Victor Rivera and Dino Bravo. We've got Luscious Larry Hanimi, who, as you know, is making quite a name for himself in the IWA. We've got men like Bulldog Brower. He'll be on the tape. Johnny Powers, too. That's quite a feud between them two, Lou.
Yes, I know you have quite a feud, and you got two really great athletes there. This Brower has been around the horn pretty well. He's a little bit strange. Sometimes I think he's a little demented. But Powers is a great athlete, and the contest that is in view for the folks is just going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and that's one of the reasons I came here, Ron. I want to see that match.
That's for sure. And, you know, the mighty Igor will be on today's program, and Igor has made a special request, which we'll find out about a little bit later. And you'll be seeing the new IWA World, not the World Tag Team Champions, but the European Tag Team Champions, the Martel brothers, as they'll be taking on Nelson Royal and Luis Martinez. So all in all, Lou Thez, it should be a good program.
I think so. I saw these Martel boys in Europe. I saw them in France recently, and they're very, very good, very aggressive.
Thank you very much, Lou Thez. Fans, will be back with our first match with IWA International Championship Wrestling in just one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, these matches are sanctioned by the International Wrestling Association. Robert F. Hatch, President. Our opening bout tonight will be a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing, first of all, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 235 pounds, Jim Hawk. His tag team partner, hailing from Sicily, weighing in tonight at 231 pounds, Tony Romano. Their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new tag team combination. Hailing first of all from San Lorenzo, Puerto Rico, weighing in at 235 pounds, the Puerto Rican champion, Victor Rivera. Tag team partner from Italy, weighing in tonight at 237 pounds, the IWA Rookie of the Year, Dino Bravo.
Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you really have a great match in store here. This fellow Rivera is probably one of the finest athletes that's ever been produced in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has produced many fine ball players, but this boy is a real great wrestler. He found a partner by the name of Bravo that is the Rookie of the Year, and this should be a great contest. And Ron, you've found two real great young men here. There's Romano and Hawk for opponents for Rivera and Bravo. This should be a great match. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
You know, Lou, the competition in IWA wrestling has gotten so fierce of late. You've got tag team combinations almost coming out of nowhere to go against the Mongols, especially because they do hold those IWA World Tag Team Championship belts.
Yes, I know. You know, the thing that really surprises me is the number of really great athletes that come out of Puerto Rico. I don't quite understand it.
That's true. You know, the Puerto Rican climate, I guess, they must breed them good down there, because Victor Rivera is probably the best in a long line of great Puerto Rican athletes, and especially they make fantastic wrestlers. Nifty arm drag in there by the Puerto Rican star, Victor Rivera. Referee for tonight's action is Mike Gray, out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Special IWA referees. Victor Rivera with the hammerlock.
He really knows where he's going.
He sure does, Lou. You know, I understand that one of the early teachers of Victor Rivera was none other than the six-time world champion, Lou Thez.
Yes, you know, I took a trip over there, and I saw this young man wrestle in one of the baseball stadiums named after one of the baseball players, another great athlete from over there, and I really got impressed with this young fellow, and I worked out with him for about a week, and instead of really taking over and dominating him, I started defending myself, and I was really impressed with him.
You know, Victor Rivera, who has just recently joined the IWA, has really been making great advances. He would like to get the Mongols Tag Team Championships away. He would like to get the North American title of Dick the Bulldog Brower. And I'll tell you, he's got a long way to go, because those challenges are just lining up. We've got all the popular tag teams going after the Mongols, and I'll tell you, the majority of the wrestling talent today is either gunning after Emil Mascaras, the IWA World Champion, or Dick the Bulldog Brower, the North American Champion.
You know, this young fellow Bravo has a great, great body. And you know, the thing that constantly amazes me, Ron, is the fine, fine young talent that has an interest in wrestling that is coming up through the amateur ranks. And I think the future of wrestling is in very good hands with men like Rivera and Bravo in there.
I totally agree. You're watching the IWA Rookie of the Year in there. Dino Bravo. Dino Bravo right now on top of Tony Romano. A tag to Victor Rivera, the Puerto Rican star. Victor working on that arm. Tony Romano, Mike Ray checking with Mr. Hawk, who has not seen any action as of yet. Romano putting down Rivera.
You know, Ron, I've seen Rivera wrestle pretty well around the world. On my last trip to Japan, we happened to run into each other in Osaka, and I saw him wrestle there. And he certainly gave many of the Japanese wrestlers a wrestling education. He really opened their eyes for them.
There goes Victor Rivera now. There he goes. That fiery Puerto Rican temper here is getting up there. Victor Rivera with a rolling headlock, and Dino Bravo echoing him on. Jim Hawk wants no part of him right now. Victor Rivera, the Puerto Rican star, and Jim Hawk, Tony Romano, his partner, in the corner, waiting for any further developments. I'll tell you, Lou, we got some great talent coming up on this program. You're going to see in the next match the luscious Larry Hanimi, who I've got to say, I don't know what you think about him, Lou, but he is the most vicious wrestler I think I've ever seen.
He's about the most vicious and the coolest I've ever seen. He's got a cruel streak in him, this fellow, and I don't know who's going to straighten him out and retard his abusing these fine young athletes that he constantly does. I think the fellow can wrestle, but he isn't wrestling and resorting to many other things.
You know, one thing about luscious Larry Hanimi that I've noticed, he's a master technician. Every time he steps into the ring, he knows exactly what he's going to do. Dino Bravo with a flying leg dive. A tag to Victor Rivera, the Puerto Rican star. Victor with that flying backflip on Jim Hawk, a second one. And Victor going for the third now, and Hawk looks like he's just about finished. The count is 3.
A beautiful coordination.
And the winners of the fall in the match with the flying backflip and body press, the team of Victor Rivera and Dino Bravo. We'll be back in a moment with more International Championship Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, with me right now, the IWA Tag Team Champions. These are two gentlemen that are blazing their trails across the country. Guito and Bolo the Mongols. And with me, representing the Mongols, is a man that I've respected in the world of professional wrestling for a long time. His name is George Cannon. George?
Jack, we can't fault you on that. Everybody has to respect greatness. As you know, I am George Cannon, manager of champions and now manager of the IWA World Tag Team Champions, the Mongols. When I go out looking for two men that I can represent in the corner as a tag team, I look for physical attributes that will make them champions. But there's one thing that you cannot build into a man, and that is courage and heart. And I say this, if you have agility and ability, youth, speed, science, strength, stamina, and desire, that's all great. But the one thing is courage. Guito and Bolo, the Mongols, have the greatest amount of courage and heart that I have ever found in two individuals. Consequently, the three of us have gone on to be champions, and we will remain champions.
Condition.
IWA World Tag Team Champions. Condition. There's a very good part of it all. Once you attain this position, you can't rest on your laurels. It's condition, 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 right?
Condition,
all the way. The main thing after is condition, once you have that heart. And we will be bringing it to you in this area where you people that want to line up and wrestle, it's like Apollo and Martinez and Bravo and Brito, Mackenzie, Royal, even a combination of Koloff and Brower. We will wrestle any two men, anywhere, anytime. Because we are going to put on our championship belts, and defend them against any two individuals in professional wrestling. So line up all your teams. Get prepared. If you want a little bit of the action, a lot of the glory, and a darn lot of money, then get ready to wrestle the Mongols. And after you're beaten, go back to the end of the line and start all over again. Because we're going to be around for a long time, Jack Reynolds.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's George Cannon, billed as the world's greatest manager along with the IWA Tag Team Champions, the Mongols. Let's go up to the ring right now and more exciting action.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match will be a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Hailing first of all from Dothan, Alabama, weighing in tonight at 237 pounds, Rick Garner. His opponent, hailing from Aspen, Colorado, weighing in tonight at 265 pounds, Luscious Larry Hanimi.
Yes, this fellow in Hanimi is a real strange fellow. I've been around a lot of athletes in my life, but I've never seen one that doesn't smile. And I've never seen this fellow smile. I don't know if he's human, what he is, he's an animal or what he is, but he doesn't act like a normal human being. Most fellas would sit and have a drink or break bread with people, but this is a loner and a real strange man. I don't quite understand.
Well, the only thing I can say about that, Lou fans, is that this man is one of the toughest men that I know of today in the sport of professional wrestling. He's vicious, he's mean, he's tough, he's strong. He's got just about everything he needs.
Got a grudge against all the wrestlers and apparently the world. I don't, as I say, you know, when a fellow doesn't smile or doesn't look at you, there's a strangeness about him that you can't quite fathom.
Luscious Larry Hanimi right now with a arm lock on young Rick Garner, hailing out of Dothan, Alabama. Coming to you again live, fans, from one of the leading sports arenas in the country today. We're watching right now Luscious Larry Hanimi, a new resident of Aspen, Colorado, against Rick Garner.
This fellow apparently had a decent amateur background, and I know that he can wrestle. I can see by the way he makes his moves, Ron, but he doesn't resort to wrestling. He does everything but wrestle. I don't understand it.
And you know, it's a shame, Luthez, when guys like Luscious Larry Hanimi, who have an excellent amateur background, never wrestle the way they should. I'll tell you, Luscious Larry Hanimi could keep up with some of the great Greco-Roman wrestlers. He's a tough one. He's got the speed and the endurance and the strength. Three essential things to be an Olympic winner.
Yes, watching him, I can see that he's had some European experience with the Greco-Roman wrestlers. I've wrestled over there frequently myself, and he has earmarks of having been there.
Fans, you're listening to the voice of Lou Fez, six-time world champion. And I'll tell you, if anybody knows wrestling, the man seated on my right certainly does. Luscious Larry Hanimi right now, showing the rougher points of professional wrestling. A knee across the chest. Hanimi, more viciousness.
He's a lot stronger than he looks, Ron. This fellow isn't a muscle man, but he has a lot of wrestling strength.
I'll tell you, Mr. Garner right now is not in too good a shape. You fans that have colors TV at home, Mr. Garner is becoming a massive red welt right now as Luscious Larry Hanimi working away as hard as he possibly can to gain a victory against this young man. You know, Lou, Larry Hanimi right now is number 3 in the list of contenders for the IWA World Championship, presently held by Mil Mascaras. And I'll tell you, there's only 2 guys ahead of him, and you've got the mighty Igor ahead of him in the number 2 spot, and in the number 1 slot, you've got Dick the Bulldog Brower.
Well, this fellow's a great athlete. He could very well move right up the ladder. He's really championship timber, and it's obvious, of course, to everyone.
I'm whipping him into the ropes. Flying elbow smash to Rick Garner by Luscious Larry Hanimi. It's one of his most vicious moves. A second time, another flying elbow. Garner goes down.
He's punishing this man unnecessarily.
Very violent individual in there, fans. Yelling to his man to get up.
Well, some people like to hurt people, you know? And other athletes just like to go out there and win their match, but he apparently likes to hurt people.
Luscious Larry Hanimi continuing his relentless assault upon the young rookie out of Dothan, Alabama, by the name of Rick Garner. And I'll tell you, Hanimi coming again, using that knee to good effectiveness. There's Hanimi now, setting him up for that back suplex. To bring him way over.
That's a vicious suplex.
Count goes in, fans. 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
The suplex was enough. He didn't have to beat him down that way, Ron.
I know, Lou. I'll tell you, some guys, it's never enough. The winner of the formal match with the side suplex, Luscious Larry Hanimi. We'll be right back. We'll be right back with more International Championship Wrestling after this important timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, back with more International Championship Wrestling. You know, before we start out Igor's match, Ivan Kalmikoff, you were telling me something a little bit earlier in the show. Igor would like to try something for the very first time.
We would like tonight to have Igor get up here with some wrestlers, or anybody in the audience, and have him sit down here with 2 chairs on the opposite side of the table and do some arm wrestling, challenged by some of the wrestlers who've been practicing this, I know, hints before I came up here. So we will perform the feats of strength, arm wrestling right here. We have a table prepared and 2 chairs. We'll do it right down here where all the viewing public can see it right on television.
Okay, there we have it. A test of strength by the mighty Igor. Can we have the table moved into place, please? And got the table here. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how strong the mighty Igor really is, and it looks like we're going to find out right now. Can we have the first challenger, please? Let's bring him out. How big is Igor's arm, Ivan?
Igor's arm is 23.5 inches. When he gets into really heavy shape, it stays cold about 22 inches. Cold, normal. Pumping up, he gets up to about 23.5 inches.
That's good. Our first challenger. Wants to fix the table a little bit more. You tell me this is the first time Igor's ever tried arm wrestling?
It's the first time he's tried arm wrestling. Right now, we'll see the man go through some of the performance of feat of strength. There's no one has actually come up right now, and right now we're going to do it on television. Igor, Teras Rupchik. Now, in this here contest, there are so many ways and phases of grabbing the hand, the wrist, and turning the elbow. Now he's trying to get his hands flat down on the table. I'll have to get in here for a moment.
Will you referee this for us, Ivan?
All right, get your elbow up, down, down. There we are. All right, here we go. Here goes the time when he lock up. We're ready to lock up now. The hand goes in, and there goes the grip. Now, there they go.
The mighty Igor, the world's strongest wrestler. There we go. We have it. One winner for Mr. Weathers.
This lad is a pretty husky man, I imagine. How much do you weigh, sir?
285.
285. Now, you heard it from the man. He's not a small man. At 285 pounds, Igor put him down. But do we have another contestant up here?
We sure do. We've got Pistol Pez Watley, who's a stranger to no one here in the IWA viewing area.
Here's another
Pistol Pez.
fine American lad. Well, Pez, you want to sit down here and take on the man?
Well, they always said that he was very, very strong, brother. And I'm here to find out about
All right,
Igor.
good. Let's go.
Pistol Pez Watley and the mighty Igor.
All
I'll
right.
tell you, mighty Igor proving his strength to many people, I'll tell you, because everyone around the IWA viewing area that has ever watched International Championship Wrestling knows that Igor is one powerful individual.
He is. Mr. Waddle, whenever you're ready, sir. Are you ready? All right. Go ahead. Lock up. Tell us, Igor.
So we have a lockup, a test of strength between Pistol Pez Watley and the mighty Igor.
Now
There we go, we have it.
There he goes.
There goes Pistol Pez and
Come on,
mighty
come
Igor.
on, come on. Come on,
Ivan
Pez,
Kalmikoff
don't. Come on, you. Come on.
calling for his man.
I'm not going to say one thing or the other. I'm just going to be neutral right now. I want to give both men a fair chance at it. There. All right.
There we have it.
Very good. Igor, don't
Winner.
touch it.
Both contests, the mighty Igor and I guess Ivan, we're going to have our next match right now.
right,
Thank you
good.
very much, and I want you to thank the mighty Igor for me.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match will be a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing, first of all, making his way towards the ring, weighing in tonight at 296 pounds. He hails from Detroit, Michigan, Jim Lancaster. His opponent, weighing in tonight at 276 pounds. He hails from Poland, the world's strongest wrestler, the mighty Igor. Along with his manager tonight, Ivan Kalmikoff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed one of the strongest men in the world, if not the strongest. This fellow Igor is really remarkable. He's a great athlete. Apparently, he's pushed a lot of iron in his time and enjoys what he's doing. And he does everything in such beautiful spirit that it's really the spirit of a great athlete, and I admire him for that. This fellow Lancaster that Igor is wrestling, Ron, really has a thing in store for him, because this fellow is strong enough to take even nearly 300 pounds that Lancaster weighs and toss him around like a rag doll. He has that kind of strength.
Jim Lancaster has not seen action here on International Championship Wrestling for quite a long time, but he's back again, and I'll tell you, he's got one of the strongest, one of the best. It's his first shot back on International Wrestling. Then, of course, the mighty Igor, the world's strongest wrestler. You know, it's Igor just loves everyone, Luthez. I mean, there's not really much to say about that. Igor, he loves kids. He loves to have a good time, but when guys get him mad, he really gets mad.
Well, he's a great fellow, a wonderful person in the dressing room. He loves everyone, and there's no way in the world that you can't like this fellow. But he's such a great athlete. We all have a lot of admiration for him.
You know, Lou, when I walk in the dressing room sometimes and I see the glum demeanor of most of the wrestlers in there, because they're right before a match, they're all tense, they're all ready to go. They've got thousands of things on their mind about how they're going to perform inside their ring, but you always know that Igor is always cutting up someplace, I'll tell you.
Yes,
and he's the coolest man before a match I've ever seen.
Yes, he's beautiful.
The mighty Igor in a referee's hold against Jim Lancaster. Lancaster with an arm whip, going to try to throw the mighty Igor across, not getting too far. Igor reversing it on him. Into the corner turnbuckle. Down goes Jim Lancaster, 295 pounds. Ivan Kalmikoff, the manager of the mighty Igor, voicing his approval for a well-executed maneuver. Lancaster now, forearm smash to the neck area.
You know, sometimes I see Igor, when he's struck like this, someone hits him, he really doesn't understand why they hit him. He's in amazement all the time. He will look at him and say, well, why did you do that?
The mighty Igor up. There he goes. Lancaster trapped with nowhere to go. Caught between the referee and the world's strongest wrestler, gouging those eyes, using that elbow. Lancaster now choking away at the mighty Igor, going to try for a flying mare. And trying for it, Luthez, just about as far as he got.
Well, his neck's about as powerful as his arms. That's pretty powerful.
The mighty Igor with a hip toss. A big Jim Lancaster throwing around 300 pounds.
He tosses at 300 pounds just like a matchstick.
There he goes, down heavy and hard. The mighty Igor is down. Pardon me, fans, Jim Lancaster went down that time. Not too often, Luthez, when Igor goes down anywhere.
Not too frequently, no. This fellow Lancaster's looking for a way out, and I don't blame him.
Lancaster attacking with the elbow again. Throwing his head into the corner turnbuckle. Lancaster getting reversed on the position now. My viewing area had been blocked before, Lou, but I didn't even see that elbow pad.
Well, he has a pad on it. I don't know if he has something in there, but I suspect perhaps it's a bruised elbow. It's very possible. And that happens quite easily.
Using that pad to good effect, though, and trying to raise some burns on the mighty Igor's forehead.
That could do it. It could be a really rough shot on the face.
Igor now reversing his direction again. Arm whipping him in, steering him into a back body drop. And Lancaster going down high, the Polish Igor. Igor covering 1, 2, and he almost made it. Lancaster at the last second pushing out.
Lancaster surprised me. He got out of that. I didn't think he would make it.
Big Jim Lancaster now, getting ready. Gonna try setting up the mighty Igor. Gonna try to leap off the top rope. Big Jim Lancaster, Igor, ready for him. What can you say? Healing him all the way across the ring. And even referee Mike Ray was almost taken off his feet by the force of that explosion.
Ron, he hoisted the 300 pounds off the top rope with one arm. Did you see that?
There he goes for the count. 1, 2, and 3. There you have it, wrestling fans. The mighty Igor again triumphant. The winner of the fall of the match with the Polish Eagle and body press, the mighty Igor. We'll be back with more International Championship Wrestling after this important timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match will be a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing, first of all, hailing from Columbia, South Carolina, weighing in at 207 pounds, Eddie Dean. And his opponent, what can you say? The man with Brower power, flying in tonight at 285 pounds from Wilmington, Delaware, the North American champion, Dick the Bulldog Brower.
Well, this fellow Brower is in a class by himself. He calls it Brower power. I don't think he's talking about his gray matter. He's a little bit demented at times, but I'll say this, he's a great competitor. But again, he has really abused the wrestling privilege. I know he learned to wrestle just like this fellow Hanimi did, but again, he doesn't resort to wrestling. He doesn't use wrestling. He resorts to many other things. And foul tactics sometimes get a little bit old.
I've got to agree with you there, Luthez. Bulldog Brower, in the many matches that I've seen him in across the years, I have never seen him use too many a wrestling hold, but I'll tell you, as far as a brute force individual, a violence man, he is one of the best. And right now, he's taking out his punishment on young Eddie Dean out of Columbia, South Carolina, a brand new rookie to the IWA.
You know, when I was wrestling in Toronto years ago, I got in there one time and I discovered I was booked with Bulldog Brower. And normally I wasn't apprehensive about wrestling anyone because I was always in decent condition, Ron. But this fellow really took me to task, and I've really respected him a great deal since then.
Nick the Bulldog Brower, pardon me for interrupting, Lou, but he just yanked half the hair out of the head of Eddie Dean.
That is unbelievable.
I'm telling you, this guy's crazy tonight. Bulldog Brower hammering Eddie Dean, a young. Well, there he goes, I'll tell you. Eddie Dean right now in possibly one of the worst positions of his young career. A backbreaker. Dick the Bulldog Brower with the backbreaker, and Brower does not pin his man. A typical tactic, Luthez, you've seen it 1,000 times.
Well, I think this fellow really is demented. I think he's ready for the booby hatch because I think he gets his kicks by abusing these people.
Then running body slam of Bulldog Browers, and the match is over. The match is over. Dick the Bulldog Brower.
An athlete, but not a man.
Winning the match with his running body slam. Brower, he's not content yet. Not only does he want to hurt the young man, he's already pinned him. He's continuing. Referee Mike Ray ordering Brower to knock it off, and Brower's not doing it. Brower is continuing the punishment now. Referee Mike Ray.
This fellow Brower really needs a lesson.
He certainly does. Wait a minute now, we've got a bit of intervention here coming from the former Pistol Pez Watley. Pistol Pez, here he comes. He's hammering away at Dick the Bulldog Brower. A big drop kick by Pistol Pez. Wait a minute now, Brower taking over. Grabbing Pez Watley, he's out on the floor. Out of the action. Brower going completely crazy here. Still working on young Eddie Dean. Luis Martinez. Luthez.
Take care of him, Louis. Louis is
out of control now. Here comes Louis.
Should be able to do something for him.
Here goes Louis. Going to take over on Brower.
Go get him, Louis.
Brower, wait a minute. Brower driving Luis Martinez through the floor. I've never seen anything like this before. Wait a minute. Here we go, fans. Now we're going to see some action. Johnny Powers back after a long injury by Dick the Bulldog Brower. And I'll tell you, pandemonium is broken loose inside this ring. Throwing him into the ropes. A big smash to the side of the forehead. Johnny Powers, who was put into the hospital settled by this man. Bulldog Brower is enacting a wee bit, of revenge. Bulldog Brower. He's stunned right now, and Powers has got him exactly where he wants him. Wait a minute. Johnny Powers, his famous $1,000 power lock. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more International Championship Wrestling after this timeout. Ladies and gentlemen, back with more International Championship Wrestling. Pandemonium is broken loose right now. Bulldog Brower,
Come on, let's get that and get out of
the
here.
IWA North American champion, on the receiving end. What's the matter with that? What's the matter? What's the matter with that maniac? What's the matter with that Power? Where'd that Powers come in? My man, that's he's trying to break my leg. Powers trying to break my leg. I'm trying to get Powers. You better get my belt. He's trying to break my leg. Well, I'll tell you, when Powers gets a mat on, it's worse than anything I could know. John was scheduled in the next match tonight against Joe Wilson. Let's go up to the ring, see if we can get Powers in there. Boy, I'll tell you, what's happening tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, John, it's time for your match, my man. We do have a match scheduled between Johnny Powers and Joe Wilson, but Powers looks like he wants nothing else but the hide of Dick Brower right now. Johnny Powers in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, our next match, a one fall with a 20-minute time limit, hailing from Hamilton, 245 pounds, Johnny Powers. His opponent, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 235 pounds, Joe Wilson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the adrenaline certainly is flowing through the veins of Johnny Powers. He went in there and did a great job of retaliating for the abuse that Brower has been giving these fine young athletes, and he has another match in store right now with a man named Wilson. This fellow's got to be a great athlete to take on Brower and Wilson in the same 5 minutes.
I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like that before. Johnny Powers, you know, the fans around the country have only seen Johnny Powers in a violent mood. The man is a nice guy, I'll tell you right now. And all they see him is being like a crazed animal, because when Johnny Powers is a very emotional man, Luthez, and when his ego was hurt, like it was by Bulldog Brower, the revenge has got to come out somewhere. Powers leveling.
He certainly got the job done.
Using that power lock that he just humbled Dick the Bulldog Brower with before, and Wilson wants no part of Johnny Powers' $10,000 power lock. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the fall of the match with the power lock, Johnny Powers.
We'll get back to more International Championship Wrestling, but first, with me, ladies and gentlemen, at ringside, is the newly crowned North American champion, the unpredictable man, Dick the Bulldog Brower. Mr. Brower, congratulations.
Well, you see, that's quite an order. As you know, when I come here, I chased after Mil Mascaras. This North American championship is just a stepping stone to take away the championship from this Mil Mascaras. Now I got guys chasing me, like this big jerk that rides his horse, Cowboy Bob Ellis, this Polish strongman, Igor, Dino Bravo, the Rookie of the Year. Well, he's got to get a lot of experience, because the only people listen, I'm going to say one thing about this Dino Bravo. He was called the Rookie of the Year. When I'm done with him, he'll be out of the wrestling. I'll slam him. I'll crush him right through the mat. You see, what they got around here is a lot of cowboys. Tex McKenzie, Bob Ellis. I'm the North American champion. I'm the one that they're after now. Mil Mascaras. The only belt these wrestlers are going to get from me is a belt right in the teeth, because you can take Bob Ellis and you can take the Polish strongman, and Mil Mascaras and Louis Martinez and Argentina Apollo. You can put them all up in one pile. You can stack them up. And I'm going to put them right down where they started, right at the bottom of the list, because I'm after one thing. That's the International Wrestling Championship that Mil Mascaras is holding. I'm going to rip his mask off, show everybody who he is. I am a proven product. I have wrestled from coast to coast. Just like Coca-Cola, I'm known from coast to coast. Everybody knows Dick the Bulldog Brower, Brower Power. And I'm going to tell all you fans out there now, whenever you come to any arena that I'm in, you're not going to see nothing but Dick the Bulldog Brower ripping somebody's ear off or putting them in a hospital. And all these fellows around here, these so-called wrestlers, just bring them on one at a time, and I'm going to show you where they're going to end up at. Right back where they started. I'll still be on top of the pile, and Mil Mascaras, you won't hide behind that mask. Mascaras,
Let's go back up to the ring right now and more exciting action.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match will be one fall with a curfew time limit. Introducing, first of all, with a combined weight tonight of 472 pounds. They hail from Paris, France, the IWA European Tag Team Champions, Pierre and Michel, the Martel brothers. And their opponents, a new tag team combination. Introducing, first of all, from Mooresville in North Carolina, weighing in at 228 pounds, Nelson Royal. Tag team partner from Monterrey, Mexico, 236 pounds, Arriba, Luis Martinez.
Well, the Martel boys, I saw them wrestle in France, some 3 months ago. And they are a couple of really aggressive fellows. And they're the French mercenaries. They're the fellows that have really done a lot of rabble-rousing around Quebec City and Montreal. And of course, they want a separatism thing there. But I think they're going to have a little separatism when Royal and Martinez get a hold of them. I'm looking forward to this match.
Well, they're definitely going to have a lot of problems with the Martels. The Martels are the new IWA European Tag Team Champions, straight from its European division, which is based over in Geneva. And now Luis Martinez making the European connection.
That Louis is something.
He sure is. I'll tell you, the fans are behind Luis Martinez 100%. And he's got Nelson Royal. And I was talking to Louis and Nelson before, and they told me they might not be big, but they said the dynamite comes in small packages, Luthez, and what more can you say?
I'm really impressed with Martinez. You know, Martinez is one of the finest athletes in the country. You know, I've trained with the fellow, and he is a dog for training. He doesn't know you're supposed to get tired.
Look at this maneuver now. Nelson Royal coming in with the tag. Luis Martinez out now. It's Pierre Martel, the bigger of the two, against Cowboy Nelson Royal, hailing out of Mooresville, North Carolina. And it's going to be a big test for the European connection, the Martel brothers, to see how they can fare against the faster-moving style of the American wrestlers, Luthez.
Well, yes, they're pretty well oriented with freestyle wrestling, but the American style is a little bit foreign to them. But they have a couple of things that they've learned in Europe and about the world that may surprise Royal and Martinez.
I'll tell you, I've seen these Martels only one time before, and they like that double team. They like that double team.
I think if you separate them and eliminate the team, I think they would be easier marks, but as a team, they're very tough.
And Nelson Royal unloading a big one upon Michel Martel. And Martel going down. The tag is to Luis Martinez. Louis coming in. There he goes with a rolling headlock. Down goes Martel. Michel Martel now. The victim of another Luis Martinez. Rolling headlock. Pierre Martel coming in now. And the team of Royal and Martinez moving in on the European connection. There we go. Almost perfect timing on the behalf of Royal and Martinez.
And Royal has something in mind. He wanted to drop right on ahead of his partner, but it just didn't quite come off, but nearly did.
Well, you know, that's what the Martels do have one advantage, Luthez, and that is the fact, of course, that they have been working longer as a tag team than Nelson Royal and Luis Martinez. Royal coming in now. Royal coming in, side headlock by Nelly. And Martinez is getting the worst end of it right now. He's being captured in the corner. But Martinez coming back, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, these
as I
fellows
was
are
saying
team
before,
experts.
They do have the advantages, and they have worked together before. Martinez and Royal have also, but not quite as much.
The Martells are just a real well-coordinated team. And they aren't wrestling as they should wrestle, but they do know how to take care of an opponent and abuse one.
Lou, when you were the world champion, did you ever have a chance when you were over in Europe to take on either one of the two of these Martells?
No, I didn't wrestle them, but I saw them wrestle. I saw them wrestle in Belgium and also France. And they had a great reputation over there, and they had the championship there, the tag team championship.
Luis Martinez with a backdrop. I should say throwing him into the corner. And Nelson Royal coming in with that shoulder block. And now it looks like a big knee left by Nelson. Martel, dazed, stunned right now. Nelly Royal unloading again on Luis Martinez, on Michel Martel, pardon me. Royal with the sleeper hold now.
Beautiful.
The bigger Martel coming in. Pierre Martel breaking it up. Louis grabbing him into the airplane spin. Knocking the other Martel down.
And Louis is a dynamo.
Luis Martinez and Nelson Royal getting on top of the Herman Martin pipe.
Now that fellow on the bottom has tremendous strength to be able to bridge out and that sort of a thing. He had 3 men on top of him.
Time running down in this match. Got a little over.
You know, the Greco-Roman wrestlers begin all their training with bridges. And this again illustrates how the Europeans work with their neck constantly.
Got about 4 minutes left to go in this bout, Luthez. And both teams looking for victory. Nelson Royal going for the abdominal stretch, not working too well because of the intervention of Pierre Martel. Now, Luis Martinez back inside that ring. He's where the action is. That's why they call him the Arriba Kid. Luis Martinez spearing Michel Martel into a backdrop. He goes for the count. The count's in. 1, 2. 2 count by referee Mike Gray.
It's just too difficult for a referee to see everything. It just isn't. You don't have the time.
Martel now holding Nelson Royal. Pierre Martel, the bigger of the two. Dimensions, I believe, are 6 foot 2 inches tall, weighing in at 242 pounds. And the Martel brothers would like nothing better than to start off a victory on International Championship Wrestling.
It sure appears that they're well on their way,
Louis
Ron.
Martinez and Nelson Royal, which is a good tag team combination, Lou.
They sure are. They work so well together. Great job.
Cowboy Nelly Royal getting the worst out of the Martels. Offensive onslaught. The Martel brothers, a double arm whip. Oh, the clothesline, Luthez. That could be dangerous.
I hadn't seen that move before. That's a real cute move.
Front face lock by Pierre Martel on Nelson Royal. Royal coming back with a couple of elbow smashes now. The time, as I said, running down about 3.5 minutes. 3 minutes now, I believe.
That was a beautiful move. And Nelson Royal is so sharp.
It looks like the team of Royal and Martinez are going to do some double teaming on their own, Lou.
They sure are. They have him tied up pretty well now.
Louis Martinez going back and forth. Softening the Martel up a bit. Louis is setting them up. This is a maneuver I believe I've seen before. That's right. Bringing all the weight on that upper thigh muscle there. Royal, the same maneuver on Michel Martel. There's about 2 minutes left.
Well, they certainly are getting an American education.
Oh boy, this is right into him. And I'll tell you that Michel Martel, his arms got to be hurt because those steel cables are bent together, holding his arms in throw right now. Louis Martinez being stopped at the present time by the Martel, and that's the bigger one, Pierre. Using that armband again. There, Lou Faz, you see what I see.
I can see, and they may have a foreign object there too. It's very possible.
I believe the armband is using him to try to suffocate it. Louis Martinez having a hard time catching his breath. But Michel Martel in his corner, coaching brother Pierre on. Pierre Martel, and I'll tell you, there's been so much action here on International Championship Wrestling today. Dick the Bulldog Brower and Johnny Powers, I've never seen anything like that
That's
before.
the wildest thing I've seen. And I can't get over the courage that Power has. He got in and he did the thing. He did it all by himself. He did it.
Right. And I'll tell you, it proves sort of what kind of a man that Bulldog Brower is, what kind of a maniac, because he first fought off Martinez, then he fought off Watley, and then Powers came in.
Well, Powers was just a little too much. And, of course, he's not only an accomplished wrestler, but he has a concession holder that is really devastating.
Wait a minute, there's the bell, Luthez. Referee Mike Ray, I believe, is signaling that the match is a draw. Martel brothers against Luis Martinez and Nelson Royal. We'll be back with a wrap-up. More International Wrestling in just one moment.